Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Coach Training Partners Podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan. I'm the owner of Capitalize Marketing and Consulting, and this show is part of the larger Capitalize Your Best podcast network of shows. On Mondays, we have This Is Going to Hurt, which is a personal growth podcast. Today, Tuesday, is Coach Training Partners, where we help coaches either create programs or increase their revenue. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, we have the Capitalize Your Best podcast, which is our marketing and business growth show. On Thursday, we don't have a formal podcast, but we do have an 11 a.m. Capitalize coaching call within the Capitalize Your Best online community. I'll tell you about that at the end. And then on Fridays, we have a fun pop culture show called You're Entitled to Your Opinion. But friends, let's jump into it. The most important thing when we create coaching programs is, of course, impact. But if we want to sustain that impact, we're going to have to grow our revenue. I had been consulting since 2003 when I was working on the Capitalize Your Best coaching program, but I wanted a more formal online university that people could walk through, something that had a curriculum that then I can meet with people one-on-one. And I decided that I was going to invest in a program to help me do that. And when I did that, I invested $8,000 like in one moment, and I needed to make that money back. So what I did is I went through the program. I did a few things that I want to share with you, and we made $21,000 in 19 days in the Capitalize Your Best program. I want to share with you three things we did. So here it is. Three things we did to earn $21,000 in 19 days in our coaching program. When we began creating the Capitalize Your Best program, the first thing that we did that helped us earn $21,000 in 19 days is that I started with physical discipline. Here's what I meant. If I was going to invest in a program, and I was going to invest in coaching, and I was going to create a program, and I was going to go all in to try to make revenue out of it, I knew I needed to be personally healthy. It was going to be long days, long nights. It was going to be hard to eat well. And so what I did is I started with physical discipline. Now, I've been a runner for years. This is my 17th year. When we did this program, it was 4 years ago. And at that time, I was coming off of an injury. And it was important to me. I made sure that my physical discipline, my physical exercise was good to go before I started the program, or at least during it. So I went back to 6 days a week running, 1 day a week yoga. And that was foundational for me because I started every day that way. I started with a baseline of health and a baseline of discipline. I woke up at the same time. I worked out at the same time. I got started by 7 a.m. in my workday. And when I did that, it created a discipline that flowed into my coaching creation, my coaching marketing, and my coaching sales. If you want to grow your coaching program, I encourage you to begin a physical discipline. I don't care if it's walking, running, yoga, but there must be a physical discipline because when you start your days that way, when you start getting your body right, it's going to flow to your mind, and then you can be more effective in your coaching program. So the first thing we did to earn $21,000 in 19 days with our coaching program is I started with physical discipline. Another one of the things that we did when we earned $21,000 in 19 days through our coaching program is I paid for coaching and accountability myself. I knew that I needed to make a leapfrog. I needed to find the wisdom of other people who had created coaching programs and monetized them and had an impact. I needed to pay for their wisdom, pay for their coaching, do what they said, and that would enable me to launch a program, shorten the time frame. So when I gave that program $8,000, I was terrified, but I knew I needed to make that money back. So I paid for the coaching. I did every single thing they told me to do. If they said, do it, I did it. They had coaching calls on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I went to them, right? I did that, and that enabled me to make the $21,000 in 19 days because I paid for someone's wisdom, people who had done it before. I did what they told me to do. I avoided their mistakes, and it enabled me to monetize. It's the same thing we do with the Capitalize Your Best program. I tell people, here are the mistakes to avoid. Here are the strategies that work. And the clients who go through the program and do a proven system that we have, they monetize as well. So the second thing we did when we earned $21,000 in 19 days through our coaching program is that we paid for coaching and accountability. Because if we weren't willing to invest in coaching and accountability, why would I expect anyone else to invest in us as well? I needed to walk the walk. And to this day, I still have coaches, mentors, and accountability partners to this day. Even though I am self-driven and self-directed, I know there's people ahead of me and I need their wisdom and I trust it. When we earned $21,000 in 19 days, one of the things that I did is I didn't worry about what the critics had to say. I spent 20 years as a pastor. And as I was coming out of that and focusing on marketing, consulting, and coaching, there were some folks who were like, Gordon, you've just become so materialistic. You become so capitalistic. And I was like, guys, this is how I make my living now. I'm helping people make an impact, but this is how I live. And so when I had gotten the program outlined, when I had Capitalize Your Best outline, I went on a full-scale marketing onslaught. Not even as much as we do now, but then I ramped it up. And I didn't worry about the critics because people reached out to me like, Gordon, what are you doing? What are you selling? Are you a huckster? What are you doing? And I couldn't worry about those people. They weren't my target audience. I spoke to my target audience. I convinced them I could solve their problem. They contracted with me, helped them solve their problem, and they grew. That's the whole idea of coaching. But I couldn't worry about the critics. I had them. I had friends leave me. I had people text me. I had family members. What are you doing? I had someone tell me I was a snake oil salesman. Didn't worry about it. I knew that my motive was good, my family, make an impact. I knew I had to make a living. I knew I had to recoup my investment. I couldn't worry about the critics because the critics weren't my target audience. I spent no time trying to change their mind. Think what you think. I'm doing this for my family and to make an impact. And I went on. They weren't my target audience. I gave no energy to the critics. I put energy into speaking to my clients and solving their problems. And when we did that, we earned $21,000 in 19 days. Now, bonus. Here's one extra thing we did when we earned $21,000 in 19 days with the Capitalize Your Best program. And this will help you in your coaching or in your choosing to be a coach. Here's the thing. We finished the process. And what I mean by that is when I paid for coaching, I went through all the modules. I went through all the study. If they told me to do it, I did it. And I went all the way to the end and I finished the program. I didn't say, I don't need that. I've got it now. I kept going. In fact, when I finished that $8,000 program, I signed up for a $12,000 program on top of that because I knew that they had wisdom and I needed to purchase it. If you're looking into coaching or if you're looking into becoming a coach, either way, you've got to finish the process because if you don't finish the process, you won't get the maximum result. The reason we earned $21,000 in our first 19 days of the Capitalize Your Best program is because we finished the process. So how did we earn $21,000 in 19 days? These three things. I started with physical discipline. I made sure my physical health was on point. I made sure I got up every morning and exercised. I got my body right and my mind right so I could do the work. 2, we paid for coaching and accountability. I purchased the wisdom of someone else and I did what they told me to do. 3, I ignored the critics because the critics aren't my clients. And finally, bonus, what we did is I finished the process. Whatever they told me to do, I went all the way to the end. If you do that, you're going to success in your coaching program. And if you'd like to know about our Capitalize Your Best program, reach out to me. I'd be glad to tell you about it. Or if you'd like to join our Capitalize Your Best online community where we have daily, weekly, and monthly coaching as well as courses, I would love for you to be a part of it. Reach out to me. I've got a 7-day free trial for you. But let me give it to you one more time in summary. When we earned $21,000 in 19 days with the launch of the Capitalize Your Best program, I did 3 things. I made sure my physical discipline was on point. I got up every morning and I worked out to get my body right, to get my mind right so I could work on the program. 2, I paid for coaching and accountability. I purchased the wisdom of successful people ahead of me and I did what they told me to do. 3, I ignored the critics because the critics are not my clients. And finally, bonus, we finished the process. Whatever I was told to do, I did it. I didn't skip out on the end of the program. I did it. So friends, I hope this is helpful. I really do. If you're thinking about starting a coaching program, reach out to us. We'll give you a free evaluation. Or if you'd like to know more about Capitalize Your Best, we will be glad to help you to grow your revenue as well. Friends, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow at the Capitalize Your Best podcast. Thanks so much, friends. Bye-bye.